Breaking Down the Law is sponsored by Battle-Born Injury Lawyers.
All right, a perfect lead-in to our weekly segment, Breaking Down the Law, where we touch on topics and how it pertains to the law. And this week, we're focusing on the impeachment inquiry. We saw it play out live in a public forum yesterday. And so for a lot of people, they may be kind of thinking, okay, what does this whole process mean and how is it playing out? Well, to kind of help us sort through it all is Matt Hoffmann from Battle-Born Injury Lawyers. So, Matt, let's just get right into it. We know that we had the current ambassador to the Ukraine testifying, we just saw there, and then also we had a senior state official testifying as well in that public forum, and we have the former ambassador to the Ukraine testifying tomorrow, so it continues. So, okay, as people are looking at this and they're trying to absorb, what's happening here, what do we take away from what we've heard so far in terms of the process and how it's proceeding? And you were saying that they're taking a different approach in terms of who was doing some of the questioning in this case.
Certainly. So, like our frame of reference, so to speak, is the Bob Mueller testimony, which was a bit chaotic. Everyone had their 5 minutes and grandstanding and whatnot. Here, if you notice, the Democrats and Republicans each had staff counsel assigned that did the questioning. So you have experienced litigators, essentially, who would do the questioning. So it was a little bit more orderly, and I think a little bit more substantive. But then at the end, everyone got to grandstand and make their statements. So the most significant thing that I think came out of it was the current ambassador, Mr. Taylor, who testified that he hadn't said it in his previous testimony that was in private. He had then learned recently that an aide had overheard a conversation between President Trump and the ambassador to the European Union, in which Mr. Trump asked, how is the investigations coming with, is Ukraine going to do the investigations? And this was the day after his phone call with President Zelensky. So he's testifying that this aide overheard this conversation and that the ambassador made the comment that Mr. Trump cares more about investigating Joe Biden than he does about Ukraine. Now, the Democrats took that as this is really damning evidence. This shows that he was complicit, that he was, clearly a quid pro quo. The Republicans are saying this is completely unreliable.
Because it's hearsay.
Hearsay within hearsay. So, both sides are making their points.
Sure. So. And obviously this is the process that plays out, right? Yeah.
So the biggest issue, legally speaking, is the whole idea of hearsay. So, hearsay is you're telling me what somebody else told you. In the eyes of the law, that's not reliable. And here you've got literally somebody saying, here's what somebody told me that somebody told them. Hearsay within hearsay. It would be completely inadmissible in a court of law, and the Republicans are correct on that. However, hearsay evidence can be used for other purposes, such as to question witnesses. Well, that's what they said. What do you think? And significantly here, the EU ambassador, after this testimony, went back and made revisions to his previous testimony that was given privately. So clearly it had some kind of impact on what happened and what transpired.
Well, and obviously this is one of the first steps in a very, well, not even the first step, but you were saying, yesterday when we were talking about this, that this is a process that could go on for quite some time.
Weeks into next year possibly.
Got it.
And again, this all, unlike Nixon, the impeachment, most of the questioning that we saw on TV was in the Senate.
Right.
This is happening in the House, I think on purpose because it's more favorable. It's a majority of Democrats and a Republican president. But ultimately, this process goes on. They recommend impeachment, it then goes to the Senate, and then we'll have a trial on impeachment.
So, is it likely that what some were saying that they anticipate that they would like to push for a vote by the end of the year? That's probably...
It could happen. No, it could happen.
Okay.
And again, what's going to happen is what's public opinion? Public opinion could sway a lot of this. So, this testimony can sway public opinion, it can change people's minds, it can have pressure put on different legislators, and who knows what's going to come next.
So basically what Matt is saying is stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a while.
Remains to be seen. And we'll have him helping us sort through it and breaking down the law with this case that could go on for quite some time.
Yes, it will.
So, Matt, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you.